Hi Taurus, this is going to be your art channeled message. I channel messages through art, creativity. I really hope my messages inspire you to see the art within yourself, within your journey, and within everything around you, because we all start from zero, which is just a blank canvas or the fool's journey. If you'd like a personal reading, all of that is down below, as well as how to book with me or contact me. And lastly, there's no rules here. You can binge watch them, watch if they're suggested, which happens a lot. Because what's special about my messages or my way of reading is it's like, what am I trying to say without always saying it directly? Sometimes it's structured, sometimes I speak in an art form or metaphors. It's like an optical illusion, and it even reflects in my art style. It's like, what's that? Connected here? It just never ends the way I expect it to. And that's what my readings are like. So, Taurus, what I started drawing for you was this weird twig-like structure that also just so happens to make an S. I immediately heard the Scarlet letter, except in that novel, she had the letter A plastered on her to symbolize adultery. It's like she was forced to carry around this label, this shame. I'm literally seeing the scenario as well of like high school settings where someone puts a note like, kick me, on their back, and they don't know until later, or it doesn't kick in. That's a really bad way to say that. It doesn't kick in yet why everyone's laughing or treating them weirdly. I believe also, I read that novel years ago. I believe also she was taking the rap, like she was protecting someone. I think she was like not willing to say who the man was. So once again, it's like the woman, or just in this scenario, is taking the rap, taking the abuse, taking the blame, so to speak. It was also very hard for Hester to start a new life of dignity and respect, which really isn't fair. There's this dystopian-like art theme here, where something is depicted in like a different time period or a different world where suffering and injustice is allowed to take place. It's almost like The Handmaid's Tale, where you're seen, like, to sum it up, they were, like, the handmaids were seen as nothing more than just, like, baby-making machines. They were, like, sort of forced into a form of slavery. For you, Taurus, I'm feeling strong emphasis on you not having to carry the weight of a label, or maybe even what people want you to be ashamed about. There's this element of wanting to move forward and be seen in a different light. I feel like all of this as a whole is very symbolic of how differently one can be treated and villainized for doing exactly what everyone else does. So if the theme here is adultery, just saying in retrospect or in theory, I line up like 10 other people that did as well. I can give you one, I can give you 10. You give me 2, I can find 50. So it's like there's this weird, like, not needing to be ashamed, or you don't really need to carry the past into the present, because why? Who said you have to wear a letter or a label that says you have to be tied down to that? Maybe you're not even who that person is anymore. Whatever this alludes to. For some reason, government is coming up too, or politics. It's like, what if you don't want to be a Republican or a Democrat? Where's the in between? Even seeing Taurus, the Hierophant, that's what you are part of. It's like wanting to break away from the chains of like this dystopian novel. That's basically what it is. Where things aren't really fair, they aren't really just. Doesn't really make sense. I'm gonna get an oracle card. Not really sure I'm gonna need any tarot cards today, but we're just gonna go with the flow. So it's like S. Scarlet letter, or S for some type of label. Oh, okay. We have Exorcist, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. That's how I'm seeing the Hierophant as well, because in The Handmaid's Tale, they would back up all of the abuse and horrible things they were doing as like, this must be God's will. Like, it's so disgusting. That's what some people believe. And right now, in real life, people often joke that if some crazy people had the choice, they'd make The Handmaid's Tale a reality. I mean, in different countries, that's already going on. But if it were their choice, they'd have that happen right now. They don't want to get rid of that. Oh, and some of them, their children were taken away from them because they were deemed unfit, or it's God's will to have them go somewhere else. No. They're breaking away from a very toxic way of thinking, or something that's used to like shame people. Like real Christianity, real religion, being a real like Christian, whatever you believe in, has nothing to do with using it as an excuse to hurt people, or using it as an excuse to shame people, or make it like it's some kind of clique. That's not what that is. And I really find it funny how we have exorcist, like exorcism. So kind of like how some people hold the cross up to like someone that is like maybe possessed. Isn't that ironic considering what I just said? It's almost like the real darkness lies the other way around, or vice versa. Fear of facing your own demons. It's like fear of facing yourself. I'm seeing demons too as like literal demons from the past. Something needs to be faced, or something needs to be let go. I don't know if some of you have some type of like, I want to say indoctrination or indoctrinated belief that was instilled upon you that makes you carry this shame, or it's like your own version of Scarlet Letter, even though it doesn't have to be adultery or maybe even slut shaming. It could be anything. It's like you can leave that behind, Taurus. I've been seeing this as like you don't want to be a part of that maybe religion or belief anymore. It's like exorcism, a reverse exorcism. This person looks like a Native American. Reminds me too of how Native Americans are often disrespected. Isn't there places in the United States where it's like sort of forbidden, or it's their territory? Nine of Pentacles. You know what's funny? With the Nine of Pentacles here, in the Scarlet Letter, which I'm seeing is kind of like the equivalent of you, Taurus, she ended up being sort of like a single mom by herself. It's like she was sort of shunned. That's what I'm seeing with the S as well. Shunned. Like stopped, shut off. Singular, single. Nine of Pentacles is often referred to as single. There's the S word, or the S letter S. So it's like she was trying to move forward by herself with all this on her back. And she got attention, but not necessarily like that positive attention. Like she wanted to be seen in a new light. I've kind of seen this too as like getting away. It's like moving forward even if the odds are against you. Reminds me too of like, this doesn't have to be like literally in extremes. I'm seeing this sort of metaphorically. How sometimes then you see in movies or in general, after someone wins a case, Casey Anthony is not a good example of this, but she somehow got off, but she had to start a new life and sort of keep a low profile because people don't like her. It's not as extreme as this, because Hester wasn't a horrible person as they were deeming her to be, but it's that idea. It's kind of like getting away, starting anew in a new place, or at least trying to. It's like getting away from that. Getting away from where you feel isolated. Then we have this, but I'm not seeing this in a horrible way. Actually, Five of Cups can be shame. She's made to feel shameful, like, here, wear this letter on you so everyone can make fun of you. Or it's like, wear this kick me sign on your back so people can kick you or laugh at you and you have no idea why. This symbolizes, since it's on the bottom of the deck, the exorcism. Releasing those old beliefs or that old version of yourself that isn't even that bad. 2 cups are up. To me, that symbolizes your chance of a clean slate or freedom, so to speak. I'm gonna get a Bob Ross card to wrap up this message art theme. Oh, got one. And then we're gonna see what the advice is. This is so weird. The Nine of Pentacles literally depicts a novel. It's like this is like the equivalent of wearing that letter and people looking at it and gathering attention from it. Ooh. They say, 9. They say everything looks better with odd numbers of things, but sometimes I put even numbers just to upset the critics. Well, you know what's crazy? In another reading, maybe you guys remember, I was like, have you guys ever noticed that the Nine of Pentacles has an odd number? Like she's an odd person or they're an odd person. There's an odd number here, which just looks odd, but it's impossible to make a 9 an odd number, an even number. There's always going to be an imbalance on each side. It's like, why does it look like that? I don't like that. Well, that's the way it has to be. And then here we have, it's an odd number of things, but sometimes I put even numbers just to upset the critics. Sometimes I do things just to upset people even more. Oh. It's almost like, if you don't like that, you want me to be ashamed of that, I'm going to do it even more. I'm going to plaster it or feel proud of it even more. Or like even when you don't want me to. You want it to be a negative reaction or a negative thing, but you're turning it into like a positive thing. It's like, I'll turn this 9 into a 10, biatch. That's a little, it's like, it's kind of like this control, like who do you think, it's kind of like controlling the image. That's why her hand's on the pentacles. It's like, yeah, I set this up. Just to upset the critics. I've been hearing like movie critics, people that give reviews. It's like, keep doing you. Here it is, carrying around that weight. It's like, rip the letter off. Let it go. Upset the critics even more. Not sure what critic alludes to. I think there's a reason I said reviews. It's going to be like religious critics, those judgmental people that think they're walking in the, I just heard arms of God, but they're not. This could go several ways. That's a crooked tree. We'll send him to Washington. So we'll send him away to have them think about what they've done. Isn't that too is like the equivalent of a parent sending away their troubled child to like boarding school? It's like, that'll shape them up. Send them to this religious retreat. But really there's nothing wrong with them. People even do that with people that are LGBT. That's even more fucked up. It's like, you can't do that. You can't fix anything with religion. So let people be. Scarlet letter. Something very dystopian about this. Okay, Taurus, that's the end of this art channeled message. Please like, subscribe, support the channel in any way you can. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, keep in mind the underlying art and overall art. What do you think I'm trying to say without actually saying it? How can you apply this to your life right this second? Because I know the cards are pretty insane right now. It's like upset the critics. Keep doing what it is that makes people mad. So weird, considering I literally said that about the Nine of Pentacles. I never pulled this card before. What the hell? Okay, guys. Bye. Love you so much.